Die Hard 3.75 here with another video. In this one, we're going to take a look at the G.I. Joe Hiya Toys Firefly.
Welcome to the party, pal!
All right, so let's quickly take a look at the packaging like we always do. This is the G.I. Joe Firefly from Hiya Toys Exquisite Mini. And just like the Star Trek figures and like the last few of the Judge Dreads that Hiya did, they've gone to the card back with bubble. I really do like this packaging. It's really cool. We've got an image here of the figure in action. With that G.I. Joe sort of explosion, just like we used to see on some of the card backs back in the 80s. Nice big clear bubble here. You can clearly see that Firefly comes with a lot of accessories. Looks like an extra pair of hands, a gun, some dynamite. Looks like a drone, a backpack. I'm not quite sure what that is. Looks really good. Take a look at the back. Some glamour shots of the figure. My only critique of this would be, I wish, like in the old days, they would have a cross sell here of all the other figures that were coming out or, eventually will be out. But I understand this is how they're doing it. This is exactly how the Star Trek figures look, except that it does have a picture of the figure in a rendering here of the character rather than having Captain Kirk on all of them. So I do prefer this, but it's nice packaging. This is some of my favorite packaging. This is how I like to get my 118 375 inch figures. All right, so that's enough about the packaging. Let's get him open. All right, so we've got the Hiya Toys G.I. Joe Firefly out of packaging, and I've only had him out for a few minutes, and I can say he's pretty good. He's pretty good, but he's not without his flaws. I'm not quite as impressed with this guy as I was with Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. I did do a video of Storm Shadow here on the channel, so I'll try to leave a link to that now if you have not seen that. He's good. He's very good. He's definitely brought up to the true 118 4-inch scale, unlike a lot of these other versions that I have here. And we'll talk about them a little bit later on. Let's talk about this guy first. So the first thing is he does come with lots of accessories, which I like, which most Fireflies do come with. I think the coolest accessory being this backpack. You can see there is a lot of sculpting there, some paint apps. Very cool. Does not open or anything. He does have these two slots at the top. I think they are for the feet of this drone, which is really cool. This is probably the best accessory. The feet of the drone are articulated, so they do go up and down, and they do move separately. Really nice paint apps. A really nice metal sort of wash over this guy. Very cool. So he can stand on his own. It does come with the stand that we've seen before. It has one foot peg, some empty casings, shells, and the two H or I connecting pieces. Not much to look at there. The bag, I should say too, also has these two slots the bottom, I haven't figured out what they are for. It looks like you can connect something here to the bottom, but I don't know what it is for. It doesn't look like the dynamite, whoops, which is a really nice piece. Again, really well painted, really well sculpted. Very cool piece. I'm guessing this is the controller for the drone. Very small, again, weathered really well. All of his accessories are painted really, really well. They've got that really nice wash, that really nice metal wash over them. A lot of good sculpting. Very cool. It does come with an extra set of hands. They are both gripping hands, holding hands, gloved hands. All of his hands are gloved. Very cool. I guess, so we're going to talk a little bit about articulation. Oh, let me point this out too, is I believe that these goggles are glued on. You can see here, it comes off the back and the front, but it seems to be pinned or glued there, and I'm afraid to pull it off too much for fear that it is glued and, you know, will not go back on the way it's supposed to. So they will neither come off totally or go down totally. They're just right there on the forehead. It still looks pretty good. They're in a nice red. There's a little antenna there. Very nice. So this Firefly, he does, as you can see here, have this sort of traditional gray camouflage that he usually comes in. I did have Firefly as a kid. He was one of my favorites because of the gray camouflage. But this one's a little different. I think what it is this flak jacket, I think I'll call it, or a bulletproof vest. I think it's more of a bomb flak jacket, which some of these guys have, a couple of them don't. But this one, unfortunately, it hinders the articulation. So although this guy is now modern and he's brought up to scale, he's a true 118, he actually, I think they've, comparing to these other ones here, he has the thigh swivel and the bicep swivel, but this jacket, and I don't see anywhere where this jacket comes off. It doesn't have a traditional clip that I can find, that I can see. So as far as I can tell, this jacket's not removable. And so you have no articulation here in the upper body. He still gets a good, bend over, bend back. But if he has a ab crunch or a swivel, a waist swivel, it's non-existent because of the vest, and the vest does not come off from what I can tell. So even though he's got the bicep swivel and the thigh swivel, I think he has just about as much articulation as these guys, because they have traditional articulation. We'll grab this one. This is the 25th anniversary. Even this guy has a ab or a crunch, an ab crunch or diaphragm, ball joint. Some of these guys it's limited because of the vest, but yet they still have a waist swivel. These two are both, I believe, 25th anniversary Firefly versions. So although these guys don't have a bicep swivel or a thigh swivel, they do have waist articulation, which this guy does not have. So that's a bit of a bummer. The vest is very nice. It does have the Cobra logo there. Got lots of grenades here. Looks like ammo pouches, detonator pouches. sculpted all the way around. This piece is connected to the vest, but it doesn't hinder the figure too much. You can see there, it's very lightly attached at these two ends. I think you can see the light through there. So I would worry over time that that might break off if you're, lifting the arm too much. But he does have a ball jointed head. Looks like it's on a barbell, so you get a lot of good movement there. He has the ball jointed shoulders, and it looks like almost a butterfly. It's one of those almost butterflies, kind of like Acid Rain sometimes has, where you can, but this guy's, it's less limited because see, even with it going in, he can't really get his arms in that pose that you'd want to hold a weapon or, look down the scope of a gun, even though his gun is fairly short. Ball hinged hips. Does have the drop down hips that all the Hiyas are coming with now. That thigh swivel I talked about, a double hinge at the knee, and a rocker pivot ankle. Obviously he has the hole for the peg. Doesn't have a boot swivel. It looks like he does, but he does not. So this guy, I want to say, he's not quite as good as the Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes. They are kind of ninjas though, so they need to be able to do more. But I would like to see that articulation, that standard across the board at this line, on this line. And I imagine he might have that crunch underneath or something in the waist, but oh, there it goes. Oh, just turned it. Okay, so he does have a waist swivel. And no, I think it's just a swivel. Yeah, I mean, you can call that a crunch if you want, but he's got a little bit of a waist swivel. So that does bring him up to, to one of these guys here, because these guys all do. Whether it's in the diaphragm here at the top or at the bottom, even this guy here. So good figure. Let's gear him up. Good figure, but not quite as good as the other two I've opened. And in the time that I've been trying to complete this review or this video, I did get my Flint. I did get notification that my Destro is on the way, so I should have that any day now. So the G.I. Joes, they're coming in. They are coming in. His backpack doesn't seem to want to peg all the way in. I do like that he can almost carry all his gear. Almost. He's got this. He can't really hold this. I was thinking that this connected to the bag, but it does not. But yeah, see how that peg, it doesn't want to go all the way in. So I'm a little, this is definitely not as good as the other two that I've opened. But he looks, he's a modern look now. And the rocker ankles go a long way with any, figure nowadays, getting them in, dynamic poses that these older guys can't do because of the ankle or the thigh. So, he's still good. He's still a little bit better, I think, than a few of these guys here. Let's talk about these guys now. I'll move that to the side. So as I mentioned, I think these two are 25th anniversary versions, and they're pretty good. The one thing that they have that a couple of these guys have is their backpacks open up. This is like the traditional Firefly thing where it opens up there. You can see the tools inside. This one did come with the walkie-talkie. There's the grenades right up around the neck, just like this guy has. Sidearm. A few of them come with this sort of submachine gun with the swivel stock detonator. And this guy too also comes with the opening backpack. This one has the gas can, has the flashlight. There's the dynamite. So you can kind of see that just like these two alone, there's the dynamite. You know, there's the grenades around the neck. This one came with the dynamite, grenades around the neck, red lensed glasses, red lens glasses. So you could see they sort of pulled from all of these. I know that this guy's like a mini classified kind of version. But you could see how they pulled from a lot of the other ones to sort of create this one. Of course, the camouflage is mostly always the same. Well, let's leave him here. This is actually one of my favorite versions, this one here. This one also came with a detonator or walkie-talkie cell phone and this bomb. He also came with a grenade launcher, this machine gun, and this removable knife. And this is from the Renegades, I believe. This was one of my favorite versions. He uses the same legs as this guy here, which I believe is not Retaliation, not Renegades, Resolute. That's the Resolute version. In both of these versions, this one came with this rocket launcher. But they use the same legs. But I've always kind of, I did get two of these new ones, Army built Firefly, because although he's a singular character, I really do like to use him as like an army builder, you know, like multiples over. So I do have three of these guys, and I've got two of these guys, and I use them as squad, like troopers. But this is one of my favorite ones. Got those two. This one came with a little speeder bike. This one's from the Retaliation movie. So this one is quite different than the other versions. This one lacks a lot of articulation too. He doesn't have anything in the wrist or anything in the ankle. He does come with these removable holsters and removable pistols. What this one really shines is this vest, because he came with this motorcycle or like speeder thing that had lights and it would shoot up, and you could see this kind of translucent, would shine through the translucence of the arms here, the forearms. He also came with an unmasked head. It's supposed to be Ray Stevens, I believe, who portrayed Firefly in the movie. Not a bad likeness. And this container. I do like this version. I really like the vest of this guy and his head. I like the green camouflage. And again, I kind of army built him a little bit, squad built him. I got a couple of them. It's not bad. It's limited, but I think the design is pretty cool. But they didn't follow through with the articulation that G.I. Joe is kind of known for. This is a Pursuit of Cobra one. This one's really cool. He also came with an unmasked head. I'm missing the pistols for this one. I think this one's probably, the most popular one or the most sought after one. He does come with the backpack that has the removable mines. I can get them off. Well, they're pretty good. This backpack does open up, and you could store things inside of it. I think what really sells this one is the mask. This masked version, and these forearm armor comes off. Very cool. Again, where is he? I have two of them, but this one is not complete. He's missing the other helmet. I bought this one loose. I actually bought them both loose, but this one had more of the parts, but they're both missing their pistols. But this one's pretty cool. He's also got that vest again. There's the grenades kind of by the neck. Gray camouflage. This one's a pretty good version. I think this one's still pretty expensive if you find him online. I think he usually goes for about 30 bucks. Very cool version. Can't remember what this one is from. But he's cool. You could see he's got kind of two different tones of gray. It came with this kind of modern laser kind of weird gun. It does have a removable knife here and here. Also came with this gun and this backpack. This is one of the newer ones. But you can see here they kind of chinsed out on the backpack. It's hollow. Does have a nice Cobra sign there. Can't remember what version this is. I want to say it's the Walmart exclusive version, but that's actually this one. And this one, this is probably, I think this is the newest one. But this is a good one too. This one's pretty good. He's got a lot of accessories. But this is the newest one. This one was the Toys R Us exclusive. I want to say 50th anniversary, 35. It was one of the anniversaries. He was in a 3-pack. That was the only way to get this guy. And here's those same mines that were on this guy's backpack. They're supposed to fit on here. They never quite fit on right. He does have a knife here that comes out. Oops, it's off camera, sorry about that. He does have a knife here that fits in there. A lot of nice sculpting here. Again, it's hollow, and the problem with this one was the peg was never long enough, so this backpack would never stay on. It just always would fall off, especially if you try to put these on it. Still, this is a solid figure. Again, look, he's got this one takes a little bit again from all of them. There's a dynamite, there's the grenades, you know, just like that guy has. Knife though, yeah, this one didn't come with any knives. A lot of times, you know, in those older ones, the knife would be sculpted right in. They started to add it as an accessory, and then this one didn't come with any. But now they've got a drone because it's more modern. I think this one has a really cool rifle. But I think this is the newest one, and even this one now would be probably at least 10 years old now. So it's a big jump from this guy to this guy. And you can see now here, he is a full 118, so he's a lot taller. He's a bigger guy. But still, you know, he keeps a lot of the same ideas, but brought up to speed. Just not sure I like this flak jacket though. I think I would have rather seen him with some bandoliers like these ones have. But that's just me. Let me know what you think. There's a lot of Fireflies here. I've always really liked Firefly. He's one of my favorite characters. I've always liked the baddies more than the goodies. There goes that. That thing always falls off. But let me know, what version of Firefly do you like the most? I probably didn't get all of the names right on which version is which. But you can see I do have quite a few of them. But this one's good. I like this one, but he's not perfect. He's not as good as the Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes. We'll see as we open up the Flint, and I think I'm going to try to do the Cobra Commander next. We'll see. And Destro's on the way, and Destro looks fantastic. But I'm not totally sold on this one. All right, sorry about that. My dog, someone came to the door. My dog was letting me know. But let's do a few quick size comparisons and then we'll wrap this up. All right, now as I'm kind of cleaning up my space, I realize I do actually have 2 of these guys as well. Not sure if I showed that. And I also have this version. This is the pilot version that came with the gunship from the Rise of Cobra, where Firefly was packed as a pilot. I don't have his vest on him, but with the gunship, and he's kind of more of a plain version. I did lose the gun because I bought it secondhand. It didn't come with the gun, so I don't have his pistol. But I think this mostly uses one of the other bucks that we just saw, one of the 25th anniversary bucks, but in a pilot version. All right, here is Firefly next to a Star Wars Vintage Collection Boba Fett, and we've got the Toys Alliance Acid Rain World Hidoshi, who I just did a video on, and you can see that he is just about the exact same height as Hidoshi and stands a little bit taller than the Boba Fett, who is a true 3.75. These two are 118. Okay, and here's Firefly compared to a couple of independent toy makers. We've got the Toy Pizza Knights of the Slice, Pirates of Darkwater Ron, and on this side we've got the Necromancer from Grindstone Toys, which is mostly a Fresh Monkey Fiction Eagle Force body. And you can see they're all 118 and they are all right in scale perfectly. All right, here is Firefly next to a couple of Joy Toy Cult of San Raja figures. I can't remember their names. I think one is Jack, but I don't remember which one. But you can see that they're right in line, and they are all true 118 4-inch figures, and they all look about the same height. Both of these guys do sport the mohawk, so it gives them a little bit of added height. But I think they're all right in scale, and they actually look like they work together. All right, on to the next. Okay, so in conclusion, guys, I think this is a worthy attempt by Hiya Toys, but as I mentioned throughout the video, I don't think he's quite as good as the Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, and I think even some of you diehard G.I. Joe guys might find one of those, you know, the Pursuit of Cobra version or one of those 25th anniversary versions. Maybe that the newest modern Hasbro one, the Toys R Us exclusive. You might find those to be a little bit better. I did fail to mention this guy does have that ball jointed wrist that Hiya uses, which I know a lot of people don't really care for. It is a bit fragile, popping those hands on and off. I personally prefer the hinge that Hasbro, Boss Fight Studio, some of the other lines use, Acid Rain also uses, rather than this ball joint. But it is what it is. It's what Hiya does. So overall, good figure. If you're a diehard, 118 or Firefly fan like I am, I'd grab him, especially now. I think this line is highly collectible. You just never know how long Hiya's going to have the license that they're going to make these. And what I've seen so far from the secondary market, particularly with the first two figures that came out, they're triple, quadruple the cost if you don't pre-order them now. So if you even are interested a little bit in this, it's best to get it now at $25, because once it gets to, $75, $100, it gets tough to swallow that price, even if you just want to try it out. Overall, though, good figure. Not great, but good figure. I can recommend him. I would pick him up. But like I mentioned, if you're a real diehard G.I. Joe fan, you might be a little disappointed in this guy. I don't think you would be in that Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, but in this one, it's possible. All right, guys, that's the overview. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.